Welcome back to Face the Nation. I'm John Dickerson. Former Texas Governor Rick Perry joins us from the campaign trail in New Hampshire. Welcome, Governor. I want to start by just saying, why are you going to do better this time than you did 4 years ago?
I would suggest that's the case. We're healthy and well prepared. So spend a lot of time in Iowa and New Hampshire, South Carolina. That plays great dividends just in itself.
When I've listened to your speeches and your announcement speech, it seemed like you were saying the governors have a certain set of skills and senators need not even apply for this presidential job. Is that what you mean?
Well, I think anybody can apply, but I think the facts are that governors do have that executive experience, particularly someone with 14 years of that executive experience. That no one gave me a handbook that said, here's how you handle Katrina and Rita and the hurricanes. Nobody said, here's how you handle Ebola, here's how you handle a crisis on your border. That only comes with that executive experience, and that's what I'm asking Americans to take a look at. Here's how we run the 12th largest economy in the world. Here's the results we've had: 1.5 million jobs created from 2007 through 2014. Don't you think those policies, that focus on economics, is what we need at the White House at this particular point in time? And obviously the preparation on foreign policy that I've done and dealing with those issues is also, I think, a selling point that Americans are going to look at and say, that executive experience does matter, and it matters a lot.
What the senators would say is, yes, executive experience, you learn to make decisions, but if you don't understand the issues in your bones the way they think they do, you can be given option A and option B, and sure, you can make a choice between the two, but you don't even know option C exists.
Well, I disagree with that analysis, obviously. We took a chance on a young, inexperienced United States Senator back in 2008, and both economically and foreign policy-wise, I think most observers would say that we find ourselves in a rather pickle, if you will, economically and foreign policy. Our allies don't even know whether they can trust America or not, because the lack of experience that this president and his inability to connect the dots. And so I think executive experience, you know, it's really interesting to me that this business that we find ourselves in the political side and governing, the only place that you would discount experience, when you get on an airliner going to Chicago to London, you want the most experienced pilot sitting in the front left seat. I think that should be the same for the next leader of the United States.
On the campaign trail, you talk about how you've been hitting the books since the last presidential race. What's the most important thing you've learned in all of your studies?
Well, obviously, you've got to spend a lot of time with foreign policy, with people at the Hoover Institute, with the George Shultzes, with the Henry Kissingers, with the the Brian Hooks, at the Hay Initiative folks, with Edelman and the Cohens. I mean, those are individuals with extraordinary, deep understanding of foreign policy. Sitting at the table with James Ricards and with Richard Fisher on monetary policy, two people at kind of opposite sides of some of these issues, but that's the type of preparation, that's the type of experience that you want to be able to tap into on these host of issues that you would face on whether it's monetary, domestic policy, foreign policy, and also keeping in mind, I think that you need to have a president who understands that all wisdom doesn't emanate out of Washington, D.C., that you got to trust these governors and trust these states to come up with the right concepts and the right ideas, and to frankly experiment out there in America, and that makes for great competition and a stronger country.